Where we are 7 years after September 11th took place in the United States.
One is a very hopeful trend, and that is that in the competition, if you will, for hearts and minds in the Islamic world, it's very clear that al-Qaeda and the movement that al-Qaeda champions is destined to fail. Now, we can't take too much comfort in that, but I think it's very clear that they're destined to fail. In terms of the doctrinal discussion at senior levels, if you will, senior religious levels in the Islamic world, there are a great many influential people who now dissent from bin Laden and the aims of his movement. At a more popular level, we can see that in those places where al-Qaeda has gained the greatest sway, particularly, for instance, in the Sunni-dominated areas of Iraq, in western Iraq, they have lost the support of the local people, and we see that played out in other parts of the world as well. So it seems clear that if one conceives of this struggle, this counterterrorism struggle, as essentially one for the hearts and minds of people in the Muslim world, the terrorists are destined to fail. That said, the one area where they are making tremendous gains is in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And there, what was formerly a growing insurgency effort led by the Taliban in Afghanistan is now becoming much more of a regional struggle.
Is the United States and European nations safer now?
I think that we have to say that the U.S. is safer now than it was just before or immediately after 9/11. That said, I think that we are overdue for an Islamic terrorist attack in the United States. I still think that eventually we will see one. There are still large numbers of people who are dedicated to striking against U.S. interests and against the United States itself. Sooner or later, it seems to me that they are bound to succeed.
What should we expect to happen now?
Frankly, we were running scared for several years after 9/11. And while there is still reason to be concerned, still reason for fear, and I think that we will see crises in the future, frankly, the sort of perspective that we've seen in the UK. The UK actually, 9/11 apart, has suffered more from terrorism since then, certainly than the United States, a bit of perspective. That said, al-Qaeda, for all that it has been, I think, weakened in most parts of the world, has been able to reestablish effectively a safe haven for itself along the Afghan-Pakistan border. I don't see that going away anytime soon, and I think that's going to be the next major front, if you will, in the war on terror.
The United States is about to elect a new president. Do you foresee any changes in the United States terrorism policy?
In terms of the overall strategy, I would say no. I think where I would expect to see new initiatives, if you will, is in the Afghan-Pakistan context. And I think that will be true whichever candidate is elected. I think it will be particularly true should Obama be elected. He has been saying for many months now that we have pursued our activities in Iraq very much at the expense of the campaign in Afghanistan and at the expense of the war on terror more broadly. And so he's going to have to put some muscle behind that, having spoken about it as forcefully as he has for so long. But I think for fairly similar reasons, if McCain comes into office, he too is going to want to re-energize the effort in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Anything else you would like to add?
I'm not sure, frankly, that either side, Republican or Democratic, really understands what's going on in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and the governors, if you will, the restrictions on our freedom of effective action in those places. I think that at least at a rhetorical level, what we hear from both sides is, well, we've got a growing problem in Afghanistan. We need to pour more resources at it. That means more U.S. troops. And I think that introduction of increasing numbers of U.S. troops in Afghanistan will very much be a double-edged sword. There's a lot that we need to do to build up the capacity of the Afghans, not just at a national level, but also at a local level. I'm not sure that that we're thinking about the struggle in quite the right way.
So, but are you advocating to be careful of increasing the footprint?
Yes, and I don't think that simply increasing the footprint is going to win this fight in the long term.